Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Hello, future people. I am Jason the Bruce of Getting Tabled, and today we're looking at an unboxing of some miniatures from Eureka Miniatures. Now, this is an Australian company that we covered on an episode a good month or so ago now. I don't remember the exact date. They are based out of Melbourne, and these are actually... Some of the miniatures in here are ones that we spoke about on the podcast, but we didn't video record that one. However, so I ordered these last week. I got a notification this morning to say that they'd been shipped, and they arrived today. So obviously that email was a day late, but that's fine. Let's get into this. I will remove my keyboard. And let's do yet another unboxing. However, so Nick has done an amazing job boxing these up. The box is like the perfect size. There was like you wrap this in here, and it's like nothing. I mean, they're all one-piece miniatures, but still, he's really looking after it. Now, these are all interesting to me, but there's one bag in particular, which is this one I want to look at first. So let me set the scene. You're playing a historical war game, and your opponent is playing the Australian Army. So clearly, you need an amazing unit that the Australian Army could not possibly defeat in war. So clearly, you need emus. Yes, historical buffs. I am referring to that war, where the Western Australian government declared war on a flock of emus and lost. Let's have a look at some miniatures. So these are all different sculpts, or they should be. Clearly coming out of the bag scared this guy a little bit. No, that's just some flashing from where it's been injected. And what I have just realised, Nick has sent me a bonus. I didn't realise that. Not this one. But Nick, being the awesome and amazing person that he is, has given me two cute little baby emus. Why do you want two little baby emus? Because then you can slaughter more Australians. That's why you want two baby emus. And let's be honest. If you're playing as the emus, you want to slaughter the Australians and take their machine gun and defeat their tank or jeep or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, had to get those. They will feature in what I plan to use these for. Next, we're going to go into some more fauna before I get into the main course. For those that are a fan of the Twisted game, that we also spoke about Sema recently, Eureka Miniatures is who does the casting for them. Now, I've actually seen this mini before, but not all of you guys will have. There we go, that's better. So nice. You just spotted something off in the distance. This one's bounding through. And this one wants to be painted like your French women. 3 amazing looking sculpts. Now, let's get into the main course. For a very long time, something I have wanted are some Australian Aboriginal miniatures. There was a company in Darwin that used to make some, but it was about 4 or 5 years before I got into the hobby, and unfortunately, they sold the rights to those miniatures to a company that, as far as I can tell, just don't make them anymore. However, Eureka came to my aid. So, now, I do apologise. All of these weapons all have names. And despite my Aboriginal heritage, I don't know off the top of my head what they're all called. This is a guy with a shield and a whatever this is. The casting on this is quite amazing. Very, very historically accurate. Will he stand by himself? Oh, he will. Now, that, to my eyes at least, is a boomerang. However, it is an actual boomerang. Not... So the boomerang that you all know, the one that you throw in the air and spins around and then comes back at you, is not the original boomerang. That was one that was changed by the Europeans and modified. The original one was a weapon that you just threw and it hit the thing and then the thing fell down. He also has a spear, because you need to have a spear. Another guy with a shield and an axe looking thing. Obviously they will not have called it an axe looking thing, but again I will add notes. I will have to paint these guys up and let you have a proper look at them nice and close. Clearly in a ceremonial type pose at that point. I have seen traditional dances. Again, all very historically accurate for what you would have expected to find at the time. This guy has a super extra long... No, that's obviously flashing. I do like the fact that they've kept these shields historically accurate as well. I mean, I'm not one for historical accuracy. Specifically, historical miniatures is not generally my thing. I have no problem with it, it's just not generally my thing. But when I'm wanting to paint up some Aboriginal miniatures, I want them to be historically accurate. Because, of course I do. Otherwise I would have just bought random minis. Little bending in the bags, but that's nothing unusual. And because they're all one pose, they're easy to fix. How many of these are there, Jason? I hear you asking. Well, 18? No, because I've got the kangaroos as well. So, 15 of these minis, plus the 4 emus. So, the 5 emus. So that's 20, so 23 miniatures, I believe. I'll have to see how accurate I am. More flashing on the end, but again, that's not a huge problem. Very much ready to strike. They would not have been throwing their spears, they would have been using their spears to stab. Just in case you're wondering why they're holding them that way, because it would be very difficult to throw them that way. They weren't throwing them. Little crouching guy. Another crouching, well, sort of. This guy's obviously sneaking through the bush. Now, it is worth noting that on the website it is specifically stated that the poses that you receive, because there is different alternate sculpts for each model, and they do state on the website that the models will be supplied at random. I specifically said that I wanted to have them all different poses, because I intend to use these for Frostgrave. Now, this is one of the tribe elders. It's not what they call him. I believe it's just a hero miniature. That is probably my favourite so far. Now, is that my first duplicate? No. Another hero miniature. really like this one. Now, is this one a double? I'm having to go through and check these by sight. No, I don't believe that one is either. Just for the record, if I do end up having a double of something, I'm not going to be making big fusses over it. The website does clearly state that. I'm just kind of hoping. And this is another tribe elder or hero with spear. So I think it's fairly safe to say that I'm very happy with my purchase. Now, will this guy on one leg stand? He will. Awesome. These are all metal. I'm actually not the world's biggest fan of metal, but one-piece metal miniatures are pretty cool. Let's get a nice little group shot. Let's hide the babies amongst everything else. And then knock over the minis that you're trying to not touch, because that's the real expert way of doing this. Because if you're trying to set everything up, you don't put everything on the side. No, you put them in the middle of the group, where it's the most difficult thing to do. Some really gorgeous looking kangaroos. The emus. They are absolutely gorgeous. Now, so, here on the website, you can see the Denisovans listed. We have our chief, the hero, that other hero I said, and I wasn't 100% sure what it was, that was a shaman. You've got 3 warriors with hand weapons, warriors with spears, there's warriors with spears and shield, and Woomera is the name of the weapon that I couldn't think of. Now, it is worth noting that historically these weapons would have had traditional names. I, as I said earlier, don't actually know what those names are off the top of my head. But hopefully that gives you enough background in the miniatures themselves to be able to look this up. Eureka Miniatures is spelt exactly how you would think it is. It's Eureka! Nick is really good guy. Based out of Melbourne, and I honestly really recommend them. And as you can see, these are Australian prices too. So hypothetically, if you're in the US, you're laughing at the price of these. Like, it's less than $3 Australian, so you're looking at what, $2.50 each or something, $2.30 each or something. This is off the top of my head. Nick, really happy with my Australian Aboriginals. But, as I said, Nick, if by chance you come across this, very impressed. Now you know who the guy that made the order was. Thanks.